Hi, it's me again, Callum, the face of Time Valley, and here I am showing you the Chausson twist handover. So here, behind the driver's door is your gas point, so this is where you fill the gas. So the LPG, you've got a 25 litre underslung gas tank on here, so it's a bayonet fitting, and what you do is you put the nozzle on, and then there's a lever that you'll turn and pull the nozzle back onto the lever, and it will connect onto the van until it's connected onto the bayonet fitting, and then you'll be able to press the button on the filler until it stops filling, and that's when you know it was full. There is an indicator on the dashboard just down here which will indicate when the gas is full. So if we turn it on there now, this will go to green, so you see it going up. This is then indicating it's full with all the green lights on, so it's just slowly warming up. And that is then full now. Coming further back, you've got your hookup point, so when you arrive on site, you've got a 25 metre hookup lead in the van. So you lift the flap on the van, lift the collar on the hookup lead, slide it over until you hear the positive click, and that's hooked up. Then to unhook, you've got a small blue lever here, so if you push down and pull off, you'll be able to unhook. Always hook the vehicle up first, then the sight, as we wouldn't want you walking around with a live lead in the wet, or should your lead be damaged in any way, we wouldn't want you getting electric shock. Underneath, you've got your two drain taps, so you've got blue, which is fresh, and grey, which is waste. You'd normally drive over, so your waste water is your toilet water, your shower water, your hand-based water, and your fresh water is just the water that's in the holding tank. So you'd normally drive over a grid on the way out of the site and just open them up and let them to drain down, as you wouldn't want to be carrying the excess weight. So always drain your waste off before you leave the site, and it's up to you how much you drain your fresh off to, because you might want to keep a bit of water on to travel home. But you'd need to drain both of these in the winter to stop the water from freezing in the holding tanks underneath. Come in here, so this is your toilet, so this is where you do the business, this is where the business ends up. If you pull your orange handle up there, you'll get the cassette out. You've got wheels on to drag it around the site, instead of carrying it when it's full and empty. Take the cap off, press the button here, it allows a bit of air in, stops it glugging and gives it a consistent flow to tip out. Tip your waste out, there's normally a tap beside there, put some water in, give it a slosh around, tip out again, and then if you are using the chemical, a cap full of chemical into here, or if you are using the tablet form chemical, which are like little dishwasher tablets in a cellophane, put a pint of fresh water in, push it back into the vehicle, and then drop it down the toilet and it'll break up into the liquid. If the slide's open on the front of the toilet, this cassette box will not come out of the vehicle, which I'll show you from inside. You've got your vent for your heater, which you don't need to do anything with, and then on the back of the vehicle you've got your high level brake light and bullet style reverse camera. And then if you do open the back doors, which you can open here, pull this to open them at 90 degrees. And this one will open at 90 degrees as well. You've got storage underneath your bench seat, but underneath this one you do have your boiler drain tap. So this yellow tap here is your drain tap, which is just behind this pipe here. So here, when it's lying down, the boiler can hold 10 litres of water at any one time, but in the winter you'll want to stand that up and all the water will drain directly underneath the van, and you want to drain it down, because if the water was to freeze in the boiler, it's not covered under warranty, as it's your responsibility to winterise the vehicle. So drain all the water out of the boiler by just coming in with no power and lifting that up, and then when you do come to reuse it, lie it down, fill the vehicle up with water, go to the hot side, the cold side of the tap first, so put your power on, pump on, cold side of the tap first, you'll automatically get cold water. Go to the hot side, it'll cough, it'll splutter, make all sorts of noises, and what that's doing is it's pushing all the air out of the boiler until the 10 litres of water hits the top of the boiler, and then go to all the other taps, so your bathroom, tap in your shower, and then your system is primed, but always drain it down in the winter. You've got storage under this one, and there's your fridge vent covers and your hooker bleed. And then coming round to the back of the vehicle to the side, so this is the passenger side. You've got your fresh water intake here. So if you just open this, this is lockable with the key, small little black key. Put a hose pipe in there until it overflows, or until you're happy you've got enough water on board, which you can see in increments on the control panel. If you are wild camping, you will have to take a full tank of water with you. But if you are going to a site, I wouldn't bother taking a full tank of water with you, because I'd fill up there. I'd take a maximum of 20 litres, which will give you the opportunity, if you are travelling a fair distance, to stop off, use the toilet, or have a cup of tea if you do get bored of driving. These are your two fridge vents, and the covers just clip on, and then you use the screwdriver to attach in the winter. So it just protects the elements. So from about November to March time, keep them on until you reuse the vehicle. And then coming down, so if the sliding door, you've got your step switch here. So this operates a step, but the step will automatically retract when the engine is put on. And then your awning, so you've got your awning winding handle here. If you just hook it on here and then wind it out until you get inside the awning, so to about there. And then you've got two legs, so if you just push them and pull them out, so just grab them, pull them out towards you, pull them down, loosen the nut off, your telescopic legs, so you can put the awning at your desired height. Put both of them down like so. And then wind the awning and walk the awning out further, and then you can peg it out on the feet plates. But should it be windy, should you go away for the day, or should you go to bed, bring the awning in, as you don't want the wind to pick up overnight and damage your van by making the awning go over the top of the vehicle or damage anyone else's van. But should you be using the air awning, there is a C-rail along the front, so you start off at the front here and you would drag your driveway awning kit along there, so your driveway kit would go along to house a air awning. So now at the passenger door you have your diesel intake, so if it opens with the main ignition key, and then you can fill your diesel up. And then on the slam panel you do have your tyre pressure, so 5.5 bar front and back, which is equivalent to 79.5 psi all round. Underneath your passenger seat you do have a toolkit, so this includes a jack and a brace, a towing eye and a screwdriver, so everything you need to be towed away or to change a wheel. This lifts off and then this slides out. There is no spare wheel on this vehicle. It's just a tyre inflation kit with the new motorhomes. Underneath the carpet and underneath this cover here is your engine battery. So this is where your engine battery lives, so should you ever have to change the battery in the future, the cover lifts off and this gives access to lift the battery out. And then to lift your bonnet, so you've got a lever here on the side of the dashboard, passenger side, pull it and then it'll lift the bonnet. And then you've got a secondary catch just above the face badge. And then under here you've got your weight plate, so it's 3.5 ton gross vehicle weight. If you were to put a trailer on this with a tow bar, you can tow it to a train weight not exceeding 6 tons. So this is either a car, trailer, caravan, whatever you want to put on the back, can't exceed 6 ton. You've got your paint code here, so it's a fade colour, 611 is your paint code, so should you need a touch-up pen or any paint, you can get there. You've got your brake fluid, radiator fluid, so this cover lifts off and you can fill your radiator fluid and your power steering fluids underneath there. And then you have your screen watch, which is the main one you're going to need when out touring on the road. Oil filler and dipstick here, and then you do have your earth for your black jump lead or charger, and then this cover lifts down, so put your key in, lifts the cover up, and then your red jump lead or red charger lead would clip on there and charge the vehicle or give or receive a jump start. So now at the back of the vehicle, to make your beds, so if you lift up and slide out, there's just on a latch system, so that'll slide so far, and then this one will slide so far. And then if you use your backrests in the middle, and then if you just squeeze them in, so it's quite a tight fit. This then makes your double bed, but also turn the other two cushions upside down as well. Underneath the driver's side rear bunk, you do have your power supply unit. So in here you've got all your 12-volt fuses, which are all listed, so it would be a good idea to go and buy some spare 12-volt fuses. You've got all your trips, so should a hairdryer or a kettle trip the van out, try here first before you try your site. You've got your build number on the door, which is a unique number to you, so should you ever need parts for the vehicle, quote that number, and then they'll quote Chausson on it, and they'll know when the vehicle was built and what vehicle it is and what parts required for the vehicle. Yeah, you've got your system shutdown button, so if you've got your system shutdown button off, like so, in the winter, and you do drive the vehicle, the main radio won't work because it's wired to here, and you must have your heater and your charger on to work the 240 side to your boiler, and the charger, which splits the charge between the engine and leisure battery, only on 240 volt. If you're on gas, you're totally fine. And in the cupboard, you've got your Vision Plus TV booster, so if you need a max up for the booster, or you can lower it down should it be too strong the signal. You've got your coax lead there, which will connect to your TV. So if you were buying a TV, I would advise buying a 12-volt TV, as you can use it off the leisure battery and don't have to be hooked up. And you do have a 12-volt and 230 plug. All your little lights are individually switched when you've got the control panel on. And then you've got your bracket to secure your telly on. And your main fold-away table lives just in here. So loosen the turnbuckle, and then you've got the top there, and the leg lives in the wardrobe there, and you've got a fire extinguisher as well. To operate your Dometic fridge, to turn on, just press and hold here and it'll turn the fridge on. And then you've got three sources. You've got mains electric 240 on the hookup, gas, and then you've got a 12-volt which only works when the engine's running. So if I click it now, it will fail because we are stationary on the forecourt. So the idea with the 12-volt is to pre-cool the fridge before you go away. So if you're lucky enough to keep this compact vehicle at home, hook it up 2 days before you go away, put the fridge on, then a day before you go away, go off and get the shopping in the car, bring it in, fill the fridge, and then allow it to cool overnight. And then as soon as you start driving, no matter if you drive half an hour or you drive an hour or longer, the shopping should stay nice and fresh on the battery. This will only work when the engine is running because it sends a 12-volt feed from the alternator to the fridge, and it basically acts like a cool box. If not, you can put it onto gas if you were while camping, and it self-ignites. And then you do have your temperature here, so 1 bar being, and then all the way up to 5 being cooler, and that's the coldest setting. And then in the winter, part of your winterization, if you clean the fridge out, so you've made it all nice and fresh with some antibacteria, you've sprayed it all out, and you might even put a fridge air freshener in like some people do. You don't want the door to shut because then you're trapping the air within the fridge. You want the air to circulate round, and this stops any smells, any mold growing, any bacteria. So to do that, you'd either have to put something in the way here to keep the door from closing, but this fridge is fitted with this, so that if you slide this forward and then you shut the door, it doesn't allow it to shut fully, and it allows air to circulate around the fridge door, giving fresh air and getting air in and out. Now in your kitchen, you've got your 2 gas burners, like so. and you've got your taps. So as long as your pump's on, they'll have hot and cold water. So when winterizing, it's always a good thing to leave the mixer tap open, just to stop any air from building up. Below you've got your microwave, which is just a household microwave, so it only works on 230 volt. And then below here you've got all your gas taps and your pump. These gas taps are mainly so you can isolate each appliance like so. So when they're up, they're on. When they're across, they're off. But these are mainly for when the vehicle is habitation serviced, and you've got your main plug for your microwave there. So should you ever have to replace it or just disconnect it for safety reasons, you can there. And then you've got storage here. Storage here. And cutlery drawer in there, and you've got a worktop extension at the end. And then to make it detract back down, just lift up and pull these arms away, and this will retract. Now in your bathroom, to operate your Fedford toilet, so make sure the pump's on, you'll be able to, and the fan will kick in. To stop the fan, press it, you'll be able to press it like so, and you'll hear the flush right there. So there, it's flushing. And then you've got your slide, which is also known as your trapdoor. If you slide that to the right, it'll deposit your waste into the cassette. Like I was saying, if this is open like so, the cassette won't come out the exterior of the vehicle. It must be shut. And then this green light will go red when the cassette is required to be taken out and cleaned out and replenished with chemical. And you've also got your shower, your drop down sink, and your toiletry cupboard. And you can bring your shower curtain round when having a shower in the van, and it'll press onto these press studs just to stop the toilet from getting wet. So when you come into the vehicle, to put mains power on, you've got your main master switch here. So if you press here, this will either give you 12 volt if you aren't hooked up, or 240 volt if you are hooked up. And then below you have all your lights. So this is your down lights. All your lights within the vehicle, which are then individually switched. And below that you've got your pump, which you must have on to surface your shower, your toilet, your hand basin and your sink. Otherwise you'll just get whatever's left in the pipe until it just dribbles out and you'll get an out left. You've got your awning light here, and then to view your levels, so at the minute it's saying we've got 50% of fresh water on board, 0 waste. Select battery. You always want the battery to be leisure and never vehicle, otherwise it'll flatten the vehicle battery. You can adjust the hours and minutes on the clock, and then this is just your Sergeant panel, so it's a EC362, which is your panel. It shows you your leisure battery reading, so you've got 12.2 on there, which is good, and your vehicle is 11.8. And then moving across, you've got your Truma Combi control panel. So if you press and hold, you'll get this screen once it wakes up, and then you can press it and go into the menu. So you've got a temperature flashing within the motorhome. This is the temperature, so off all the way to 30 degrees. So for this we'll say 22, press, that's saved it at 22. Then you've got a thermometer in water, and this is your hot water. So if you haven't got any hot water on board, don't put your hot water on. So you've got off, eco, which will take a lower percentage of your electric or gas. You've got hot, or you've got boost, which prioritizes the water. So from this we'll just say hot because we're in no rush. You would boost it if you were in a rush for water. Go moving along, you've got a gas bottle and then electricity marks here. This is what source you're going to be using off. So you've got gas on its own, so if you weren't hooked up you'd have to use gas, so this would be wild camping. You've got a mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt of electric, which you could use if you were on a smaller CL site. But you've got a mixture of 2 kilowatts of electric and gas, so if you were in a hurry to heat the van or the water in the winter, you'd use this just for 20 minutes to get it warm, and then you'd swap it over to electric if you were hooked up. You've got 1 kilowatt of electric, which you would use if you were on a smaller CL site or abroad, but mainly if you've paid your site fees and you are in this country, most camping and caravan sites will give you 2 kilowatts of electric to heat your water and van. So for this we'll say that. Moving along, you've got a fan speed here. So eco, which will take us, it's a 12 volt fan which blows it through the ductings around the van. Eco, or you've got high. So eco will take a lot less of your 12 volt feed should you be wild camping, or you've got high, which you can use when you're hooked up. And then down here you've got a timer, so you can set the timer to go on and off. You can set the clock on the display panel, and then should you get a worn triangle in the middle here, you can go into the spanner and go to reset and reset the boiler, and to turn off just press and hold until it goes. Swivel your passenger and driver's seat. You've got these levers here, so if you pull it, and if it does get stuck on the door like it has there, if you just pull it forward, you'll then be able to turn it round into the rear. Now inside the cab, so to the right of the driver, you do have your handbrake. You've got your electric windows, driver and passenger, and then your electric mirrors, which is just a joystick you can operate. So bottoms being blind spot, tops being your big mirrors. Obviously you've got your gas indicator, which I showed you from outside. You've got your rear fogs and headlight adjustment. You've got your alarm indicator here. So this is to turn these ultrasonics off. So if you are keeping a dog in there, or you want to arm it with viewing, should you be on the continent and you want to feel a bit safer, if you put the ignition on and then turn the ignition off, within 6 seconds press and hold, you'll see it flash until simply it won't flash anymore. That indicates these sensors are now off. You can now lock the vehicle with your dog in or yourselves in, and the perimeter of the van will still be armed and go off should someone be trying to get in under your bonnet or try your doors. It'll go off, but you'll be able to roam around inside without the ultrasonics detecting you. But once you start the engine, it does go back to default settings, so each time you've stopped on a site you'll have to do that. It's not just one time and then it's on permanently. Every time you start the engine it does refer to the sensors being armed. And then you do have your steering wheel controls, so hands free. This will scan through the radio channels or your contacts, mute, volume, wipers with your trips, which will go through your range, your average consumption, your instant consumption, your travelling times, and so on. You've got cruise control off, speed limiter, cancel reset to resume should you have to put your foot on the brake, lights and indicators. 6-speed manual gearbox with, if you lift the collar here, you'll get your rear view camera come on, like so. You've got your traction control, so it's always on, but if you do want to turn it off to get off a wet boggy field you can, and stop your wheels from spinning. Hill descent control, which I would forget about because it's mainly for an automatic, this is a manual. Hazards, locks the doors. This locks all your doors, so it'll lock your cab, your sliding cargo door and your rear doors with it being a van conversion. Heated mirrors, which will clear your mirrors should it be wet or misty. USB for charging, and a 12 volt for charging. Your USB for your head unit to input your iPhone or your USB stick or your MP3 player or iPod is there in the top glove box, which is heated and cooled by the air conditioning, so it's a great place to keep sweets if the air conditioning is on. Company air conditioning, so your climate control, so you've got temperature on the outside must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon to work, which is your middle button there. And then you have got your distribution, so where you want the air to go, and your circulation, so either recirculating air or bringing fresh air in. And then so you've got to manually turn on and off your head unit when you get into the vehicle and get out, because it's not on the ignition. So you've got, if you go home, you've got your navigation. There's a little card in here, so you can set all your navigation up. One thing is, don't set the home setting on your navigation, as if somebody steals your motorhome, they know where you live, and some of them could be in part of a chain and they can come and rob your house, which is the last thing you want once you've just had your motorhome stolen. So always put in the estate or the street before, or a couple of streets away, just so somewhere where you know you can get from there to your home. And to put your new address in, so you'd put route and then you could put your address in, or you can put your history will come on once you start using the vehicle and the sat nav. And then if you go back home, you've got an FM tuner, a DAB tuner, you've got a camera which will come on should you want it when in reverse. You've got your brightness, you've got your easy connect, so you've got your USB and your Bluetooth, so you can pair your phone there. So you pair and you'll be looking for something called Accent or similar. But if you go onto your DAB, which everybody uses DAB now, you can press P1s to P6 to preset all your settings on there and save your favourite radio channels. And you don't have card blinds on this, but what you do have, you have a silver screen which is up above the luton there, and this just clips around the outside, so it'll clip on top of the door from the outside, clip round the mirrors, round the windscreen, round that mirror and round the door, and then that will black your cab out on an evening. All the rest, your skylights and your windows, have blackout blinds on them.